So you might be wondering, what do I have to say? Um, because for several years it has been a myth that young girls should not be in tech. Young women cannot be in tech. Tech is for the boys, tech is for the men and all of that. But I'm full of joy and I'm glad that we have a platform like Africa Agility where we are changing the story. And today I will just be sharing with you how I found passion and purpose in technology. So, a very brief introduction. My name is Maikem Victorine, and I'm from Cameroon. I'm from Cameroon, and I my journey in tech began in I think 2019. Actually, I wanted to be a medical doctor when I was much younger. What happened was that, there was a day where I was in the hospital, right? And the doctor or the nurse, they took so good care of me. And I told myself, well, I want to do the same thing for other people. And yeah, I had that at the back of my mind, while I was growing up. But then, as might be the case for a couple of us, life, and financial circumstances were not the best at the time. So I couldn't go to medical school. And, I felt, wow, my dream is shattered. No doctoring, no medicine for you. But then something happened, and that is why I really, really appreciate this platform because I found myself in such a platform like this where we had young people, and I heard another young person speak like I'm speaking to you right now. And she made us to understand that, we are responsible to carve the path for our journey. We have to take hold of the steering, of our path and then create that journey where we want to go. I left that session, determined to not, be desperate, determined to not be despondent. And in that place of trying to find out what else I can do, what else, I can get my hands on, given that, okay, I'm not going to go to medical school. I was introduced to a vocational training, you know, um, where I began to learn web development. That is where I started. I began to learn web development and I I was pretty interested. So I finished the training and I began to create websites for people, for companies here and there. And then it occurred to me, I was like, wait a second. Actually, we need technology in healthcare because, the healthcare sector in Africa is facing a lot of, distortions, a lot of difficulties, and people don't have data-driven decisions, right? So I now began to channel my skills and I link it to my passion for medicine. And I was like, okay, I might not be the one operating on the people. I might not be the one prescribing the medicine for the people, but I can create technology that would help the doctors, that would help the nurses, that would help the people to make accurate decisions, data-driven decisions, and treat the people appropriately. So that is how, I began to find purpose in tech. Remember that I really wanted to do medicine because, I want to make a change in healthcare. So this is me finding a way to link the skills I now have to the passion that I had before. And from that time onwards, I began to, explore, I began to learn, the different aspects of technology, the different parts in technology, and I then enrolled in a degree in computer science, just to learn more, just to grow those capacities. And given my volunteering experience as well, I began to put pieces together because, you would go to a hospital and the patients are all piled up. you will go to a clinic and people are maybe prescribed the wrong medications and all of that. So one thing that really sparked my interest as well is, how can we change these things? How can we make sure that there is access and equity when it comes to healthcare? I don't know about other countries, but in Cameroon, for example, you go to a hospital, it might take a while for you to have an appointment, especially in government hospitals and all of that. So it was quite bothering, right? And then I began to say, okay, let me begin to fine tune my tech journey in the domain of data science, machine learning, and AI. And then I came across Africa Agility, and I enrolled in the machine learning and data track, which also, added to the level or to the skills that I had, while doing my degree. So in all along, I began to settle and I was like, actually, being in tech, being a lady in technology is something that is possible, is something that can be done. And I just want to, let all of us on this platform this afternoon, this evening, for you to understand that whatever track you're taking, whatever direction that you're going in your technology path. It might be maybe for you wanted to be a lawyer and then you could not be a lawyer at the time. You wanted to be, a businesswoman, but you could not be a businesswoman because maybe you're looking for capital or you're thinking, oh, you're waiting for somebody to come and just, do something like boom. Well, I want to let you know that you need to begin to take relevant steps. Give yourself the opportunity to grow your skills because the truth of the matter is that um, in the domain of technology, practice is what keeps us updated, right? Because the domain is changing, the domain is changing, the domain is quickly going. And if you're a beginner, take out the time to explore the different parts. If you want to go into cybersecurity, if you want to go into data, if you want to go into, mobile development, if you want to go into, all of those blockchain, because the truth of the matter is that this domain is like an ocean, right? And if you want to learn all of these things at once, you might find it overwhelming. So this is just my advice to you. Just explore all of those, and as you grow, you begin to fine tune it. For me, as an example, I have come to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm doing everything data, I'm doing everything machine learning, I'm doing everything artificial intelligence. Before I came to that point, I learned web development, I learned a little bit of mobile development, I learned a little bit of cloud computing. So when you have a touch of all of that, you begin now to fine tune it so that you can now go deeper. You can now go deeper into the domain where fits your passion. And for me, I am going into machine learning and AI and data because this is a domain that can be readily applicable in healthcare, right? And even in education, because these are the two SDGs that I'm very passionate about. In education, teaching, young girls how to build their websites because, you might be a very good hairdresser. How do you sell yourself? How do you market yourself? Having a website is already a peg for you. So whether you have your skills, whether you have a craft that you love, you are a designer, but you are like, oh, the designing, aspect is not bringing me the money. Like somebody said that, tech can bring in the money. The skills you're learning, you can actually apply to every domain, like every domain. What if you build a website for your salon and people can actually book you? Like they don't have to come and queue, they just book you and then your day is scheduled. You will not be having clients that are that are discontented. If you are a designer, for example, in Africa, designers can fall your hand, whereby you need to attend a wedding today and the designer calls you yesterday and be like, oh, I forgot your material, I don't know why I kept it. You are a designer, you want to be efficient, you can actually have a platform where you actually track all your things. So just to say that whatever passion, whatever purpose that you want to fulfill, you can actually tailor your skills in that direction. That's one thing that is beautiful about being in tech. So if you are here today and you're wondering, where do I start from? Remember that Victory started from wanting to be a medical doctor and she couldn't be one. And then she told herself, okay, I might not be medical school, but I have technology skills. So I'm going to create solutions in medicine. You might be passionate about the climate, create solutions for climate change. There are vast opportunities out there. And I just want to tell you today that you should, get up, brace up, and take hold of those great opportunities. I'm not telling you there's going to be a bed of roses. Hey, no, sorry. I don't know if that is a story you've heard, but it's not going to be a bed of roses. There are nights where you'll be up, the code is not running and you have to debug it. That is all the process, and you have to embrace it, right? Let me end by saying that until until you become uncomfortable, you will not create a change. You will not change something that you're comfortable with. So I want somebody here to become uncomfortable, right? Become uncomfortable with the status quo. Become uncomfortable with the narrative that, oh, I can't do this. Just because, you found you came across maybe a challenging problem or a challenging prompt does not mean you cannot do it. You breathe, you become uncomfortable with mediocrity, and as you grow, as you learn, you begin to, improve upon your skills daily.